Bring in Senator Cory Gardner on international security, what we're looking at today. He's a Republican on the Foreign Relations Committee. Senator, we thank you for your time this morning. You've been listening to that report along with us. And here's the latest from President Trump this morning on ISIS. He wrote, "When I became president, ISIS was out of control in Syria and running rampant. Since then, tremendous progress made, especially over the last 5 weeks. Caliphate will soon be destroyed." Unthinkable 2 years ago. We seem to be hearing different perspectives and different assessments on ISIS coming from the president and his team and military brass.
Well, the last thing this country can afford is a mission accomplished moment where credit is taken for the collapse of a terror organization or ideology that has the ability to go back into hiding and to come back at a moment's unsuspected notice. We know there are people out there that will carry forward this ideology. There will be people who will backfill the terrorists who are killed on the battlefield. The president has made progress in the war on terror, has made progress against ISIS, and credit to our men and women in uniform who have delivered more payloads of weapons and bombs on ISIS targets than the last 8 years. I think they've done an incredible job of delivering and taking out the bad guys. But the bottom line is, this isn't over. We haven't destroyed it. Our intel community is very clear. We have to keep the pressure, we have to keep the work, and we have to safeguard the American people from this ideology and these people that wish to do us great harm.
Well, we have a lot more topics to go through. Let's see how many we get to now. Venezuela, the president tweeting this: Maduro willing to negotiate with opposition in Venezuela. He tweeted, following U.S. sanctions and cutting off oil revenues. Guaido is being targeted by Venezuelan Supreme Court. Massive protests expected today. Americans should not travel to Venezuela until further notice. I get the last point of that. Why should Americans be so invested in the future of that country?
Well, look, this is democracy, freedom, human rights matters around the globe, and our interests in what is happening in nations in this hemisphere are greatly concerning to us. And what we've seen, the abuses, the atrocities by the Maduro regime, the failed state of socialism. In fact, this is a point that President Trump had made at the United Nations, where he said Venezuela is not an example of a failed socialism, it's socialism at work. And that's what we've seen Maduro execute against his own people. They've been deprived of basic conditions that make human dignity happen. So we've recognized Guaido as the real leader, legitimate leader of Venezuela. President Trump spoke to Guaido today and encouraged his support for Guaido and the Venezuela people and the resumption of great relations between Venezuela and the United States.
Senator, how far would you like to see the United States intervene there?
Well, I think we will work with our regional partners, the OAS states, nations, our allies in the region that have said enough is enough. Maduro needs to go as the people of Venezuela. The elected body has recognized Guaido as the leader. And that's where we will continue to work at a regional response to make sure that Maduro's reign of terror against his own people is put to an end.
Just want to hear Guaido with Trish Regan, Fox Business last night. Here's what he said about the threats to him and others in that country.
They have threatened my physical integrity, my family's, and unfortunately, I'm not the only one. There's over 300 political prisoners. One recent member of parliament, Fernando Albán, was murdered despite threats towards our integrity and our families. We remain cohesive and mobilized and united because this is our goal to rebuild Venezuela.
When he describes 300 political prisoners, and you laid it out very well as to why we should care, so we're going to follow that story. In the meantime, you've got a battle on your hands on the Hill on the border shutdown, government shutdown, border security. Big meeting today. First, Sarah Sanders from yesterday on what it would take to get a deal.
The president doesn't want to go through another shutdown. That's not the goal. The goal is border security and protecting the American people.
Just talked to Debbie Dingell, Democrat from Michigan, last hour. She says she's on board. A colleague of hers, Senator Bob Casey, Democrat from Pennsylvania, he hemmed and hawed with Brian Kilmeade earlier today. Really would not commit to a lot of the questions that were asked. He said the following.
It would help if the president either said nothing or just was encouraging instead of predicting failure or seemed to be rooting for failure.
He was asked about steel slats repeatedly and would not concede that point. What are Democrats willing to give, and do you believe today that you can get something the president will sign?
Well, that's what this entire exercise of reopening the government has been about, a commitment by Democrats to get the government open and work in good faith toward a border wall, a border barrier, border security. We've been here before, and that's why I hope we see a different result with the Democrats who have been reluctant to provide the kind of security we need on the border. So I hope over the next several weeks with this working group that we can find a way. You have people like Senator King, Angus King, Joe Manchin, and others who have said they support barriers on the border. If they want to call it something else, call it something else. But the fact is we need to have security. We need to have a functioning government. And we've got a couple of weeks for Congress to do its job that the American people expect it to do and make this a reality. Look, just a few months ago, people supported on both sides of the aisle $25 billion for border security. And now, just this past week, they wouldn't support even a fifth of that. So let's put down the partisan attacks and barbs and actually get to work, do the American people's work of protecting our border, defending our border, and building those barriers.
Yes, no, or maybe. Do you get a deal on this?
I think we will, yes.
Wow. Senator, thank you very much.